Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome to the Indianapolis Arrows franchise. We are kicking off season number 5, and the Arrows are looking decent so far. It's too early to really tell what's going on with the team, but a couple of notable guys have been performing either lower or higher than expectation. Dylan Carlson right now is struggling, and he struggled in spring training, so at least for the meantime, I'm going to keep an eye on him, and then I'm actually going to switch up the top of our lineup. Ojo Taikon has gotten off to a slow start. He's 2 for 17. I'm not saying it's repeated pattern now. It's way too early to tell, but he is a guy that does good in limited at bats. So right now I'm going to switch he and Pat Washington, and Pat Washington's going to start here for, at least for the first, month or so, and then we'll see how that goes from there. But I first want to evaluate our AAA affiliates in the Storm Chasers. Now, we have a couple of guys who are fringe MLB talents. Starting with Jay Almonte, 21 years old. He's already won Minor Leaguer of the Year in our organization. Look at this start that he's off to, a 1,500 OPS in just 9 at-bats, obviously, but he is really, really solid, and he looks like a prospect that is going to be a future piece of the team. I'm not in really a hurry to move him up. Maybe if there's an injury, I might move him up, but there's some other guys that I'm looking at, like Fred Scott, who had some MLB experience last year. He is more likely to be moved up sooner rather than Jay Almonte. Keith Rice is also an option. He came off of a big injury last year. Now, MLB The Show in the beginning of the season on opening day predicted that Keith Rice would lead our team in stolen bases. So that's something to keep your eye on also. Jackie Cochran was our first round draft pick 2 seasons ago. Last year, he went through his first full season in the minors, hit pretty decently. He's off to a good start now. Our AAA affiliate is our most loaded team probably we've ever had offensively. Bruno Reyes, another guy, he was drafted back in season number 2. He is now 20 years old. We drafted him as an 18-year-old. He was drafted in the competitive, I think it was the competitive balance round B. I'm not exactly sure. I think it was either round 3 or competitive balance, but he is actually a decent player, but his potential is a little bit lower, meaning he's not going to get much better than what he is right now. Billy Schneider was drafted last year in the draft. He goes straight to AAA. He was one of those 4-year seniors at shortstop, and it looks like he's going to be either a lifelong minor leaguer or a guy that we just move up for a few games. I don't think his future is really being a long-term starter. There's also Tyrone Johnson, who is an excellent power hitter. I want to see him be more consistent. He's going to be the starter at first base at AAA, but he definitely has that star power that you look for in a power hitter. But it seemed like when he and Paulo Reyes were kind of competing to see who would be the next first baseman of the future, Tyrone Johnson took a step back. There's other guys here like Jack Fitzgerald, who is a decent third baseman actually at 69 overall. He's somebody I don't talk about at all. And then our catcher, Daniel Cope, we don't have many catching prospects as it is. But our starting rotation at the AAA level is really good. It's led by Terrell Blake, who I like to move around in the rotation because I don't like to necessarily always have him as the ace, because I want to see him get easier pitching matchups at AAA. And here we will see him start in this game. We are 7-2. And we are playing the Stripers here at home for the Storm Chasers, and Blake gets a start today. Now remember, Blake was drafted number 1 overall back in season number 2, and he is looking like every bit of a number 1 overall pick. Obviously, he's 2-0. The numbers aren't great this year, but I don't expect that to last. Like, he's going to turn that around really, really easily, and he faces a lineup that I like this lineup to face today, because this is an MLB type of lineup. Justin Dean, DJ LeMahieu, Joey Gallo, Will Benson, all these guys are at this Gwinnett Stripers AAA affiliate, and we will see how he can do versus, like I said, an MLB caliber like lineup. So here he faces Justin Dean, who, if you guys play MLB The Show, he ends up being a really good ball player at the MLB level in the future, as he gets him to swing and miss, as that brings up DJ LeMahieu Fly ball to left field for the second out of the inning. That brings up Candelario to the plate. Another one of those guys that ends up being pretty good in MLB The Show at the MLB level. And he swings and misses. 2 strikeouts here for Terrell Blake in the first. So I'm really excited to look at these hitters. They will face Vinny Matos on the mound. And here is J. Almonte. He's won Minor Leaguer of the Year once for us already. 74 overall. B potential. Still only 21 years old. He grounds out to first. That brings up Fred Scott, who is the fastest player in the entire organization. A lot of you guys have wanted to see his speed at the MLB level. We played him a little bit last year, and here in his first at-bat, he bloops one to right field for a base knock. Now, when Fred Scott gets on first, the first thought I'm thinking is, we got to swipe 2. And usually I don't like to hit and run. I like to let him run free, so we'll see what happens here. Keith Scott, 1-1 pitch. This one's low. Scott will get there. And he got in there easily right there. He's got that speed. I want to see what he can do trying to swipe third here. We try to get a little bit of a lead, but Keith Rice gets plunked on the back. Now, Keith Rice, like I said, also can steal bases, so we might execute a double steal here. But that brings up Jackie Cochran, who swings at one, and that one is just foul. He absolutely crushed that pitch to left field, and it was right down the left field line. He straightens it up, but hits a ground ball to second. This will be 2. But Jackie Cochran is another one of those guys. He's got big-time potential. I'm in no rush to rush him up, though. That's for sure. So on to the top of the second inning. Terrell Blake still dealing on the mound. Fly ball to center field. Blake has a really good, I would say, 2-pitch repertoire in his 4-pitch rotation. His fastball and his changeup, those are the 2 best pitches there. As you see, his fastball is kind of hard to get solid contact on, and his changeup definitely allows that change of speed to throw hitters off. But I think the slider definitely needs to develop. But he does get a strikeout right there on the slider. But I do want to see that pitch improve. I think those 3 pitches are his best 3. He also has a 2-seamer, I believe. As that brings up DJ LeMahieu, ground ball to second. As you can see, Terrell Blake's not getting much activity from the plate. But that brings up Candelario to the plate. This one's high and tight, and the cut fastball will be deep, and that is gone. That's his 4th pitch, the cut fastball, not the 2-seamer. That one's gone. I want to develop that pitch a little bit more. I tried not to lean on that one, though. It's usually the 4-seamer, the changeup, and the slider. The cut fastball is really the 4th most used pitch in his rotation, but it's now 1-0 here as we are at home. We'll see what happens for the rest of this game as it brings up Keith Rice, who hits one hard to short. That one will just turn out to be a ground out. As now that brings up Jackie Cochran to the plate. Another fly ball to right field. And it looks like, our offense is off to a slow start at AAA. We are 7-2. We've produced a lot of runs so far. But here we are on the mound giving up some runs. Here in the top of the 5th inning, here is Luke Waddell at the plate. He creams one to right center field. It's going to be deep enough to score the 2nd run of the game, and Terrell Blake is in his first bit of trouble here in this game. So it's 2-0 here. Here comes Park to the plate. He hits one to left field. That one's down for a base hit. And now we have runners on the corners. Now, I'm inclined to keep Terrell Blake in the game, but I definitely need to just get him out of this jam. So we go to the bullpen. We bring in Bo Burrows, a guy that has yet to surrender a run so far in 3 outings, and he's pitched 5 innings. That brings up Mario Feliciano, who hits one hard on the first base line. That one will get all the way to the wall, past the glove of Tyrone Jones. We get the relay in, but it will not be in time. It is 4-0 here for the Stripers on the road. I said this was an MLB caliber lineup. Not saying that these are all MLB players, but these guys can hit the ball. Justin Dean, ground ball to second. There is the glove of Jackie Cochran. He gets the out at first. That brings up LeMahieu, circle change, strike 3 swinging. And we got some work to do at the plate in order to come back in this one. Bottom 6 now. J. Almonte 0 for 2 today. And he swings and misses at the sinker. Make it 0 for 3. He's a guy that doesn't strike out much, too. I'm surprised he actually did not foul that one off. That brings up Fred Scott to the plate in the bottom of the 7th here, still down 4-0, and he gets a base hit for his second base hit of the game. And you already know what we're thinking here. Fred Scott has amazing speed at first. They go to the bullpen and do bring in the first relief guy of the game. Look at that ERA, 12.46 in 4 innings pitched. And here we go. Fred Scott at first. You know what we're thinking right away. 2-1 pitch off speed. And Fred Scott gets there before the ball is even released by the catcher. That's insane. He has crazy speed. Keith Rice continues his at bat, and he will watch that one on the outside half. 4-4. So that brings up Jackie Cochran to the plate. He gets a hold of one deep to center field. That's going to be over the center fielder's head. Cochran has 56 speed. He's going to try to round second and head to third. It does score 2 runs, and it is 4-2. Jackie Cochran, our first round draft pick back in season number 3. He gets it going here in the 7th. That brings up Tyrone Johnson, the power hitting first baseman. He walks as well. There are still no outs in this inning. We go to the bench, and look who's there. It's Jack Sawinski, who did not make the opening day roster because of his struggles in spring training. He's been floating to AAA and up, and that brings him up to the plate, and he does drive one over the left fielder's head. A misjudgment there by the left fielder. Sawinski drives in 1 run, and the second will be in time at home. Tyrone Johnson scores all the way from first, and it was a great slide right there from Johnson, and he avoids the tag, and it's a 4-4 ball game here after that big 7th inning. That brings up Cesar Fernandez out of the bullpen to face the middle of this lineup. He gives up a hit right there, but that brings up Will Benson to the plate, who hits one hard to short, and it somehow gets all the way to the wall, and Will Benson will come through with an RBI single. Wow. An opposite field ground ball gets all the way to the wall and left, and it ends up scoring a run. So we move on to the bottom of the 9th inning. Tyrone Johnson to the plate. He hits one hard to right field, and he gets to second on that one with a double. There's a short fence in right field, and that ball comes off the wall quick, and Tyrone Johnson had to be on his horse. That brings up Billy Schneider, who's 0 for 3 today. He does get his first hit. That one's a hit to right field, and now we have runners on the corners here with no outs. That brings up Elian Miranda to the plate, who swings at an inside pitch. This is deep to left field, and it's going to get to the wall. It's a tie ball game, 5-5. Billy Schneider on his horse to score, but the relay throw was right on the money. He would have been out either way, and Schneider gets thrown out at third by the catcher. It's the first out of the inning. We didn't have to be so aggressive right there. There were no outs at that point. So that brings up Daniel Cope here with 2 outs. He hits one hard to second base, and it doesn't get through the infield, and we're going to extras. So Joey Gallo to the plate now in extras, 0 for 4 today, and there is a ground ball to second, but look at the play by Jackie Cochran, the former first-round pick. He saves a run possibly right there as we move on to the bottom of the 10th. This game is still going. Here is Jay Almonte to the plate, not getting anything today. He is 0 for 5 at the plate. So that brings up Fred Scott in that 2 spot. He's 2 for 4 at least today. He gets one over the middle of the plate. This one's driven deep to left field, and it's not coming back. Fred Scott with the walk-off home run. And we do get a victory here at the AAA level with the Storm Chasers. Fred Scott, the speedy center fielder, comes through, and we get a big-time victory here at the Omaha AAA level. How about Fred Scott in this one, showing off what he can do at the plate today? That's not really his strong suit. While he can hit the ball decently, that's not his game. His game is, I'm going to hit some singles and get on first and swipe second. That's kind of the brunt of his bat at the plate. So now we hop back into the MLB level, and like you guys know, in the offseason, we went out and signed Sean Manaea, and Sean Manaea 2-year, $12 million deal. He's got a club option here for the second year, but he is a native of Indiana. He went to Indiana State. That's where he played his college baseball, and now he returns to Indianapolis here for the Arrows. This is a really good day for him where he gets to, pitch for a local team in front of his family, in front of his friends, all of that good stuff. And we face a very tough Orioles team who has Gunnar Henderson on the bench for some reason. I have no idea what's going on there, but maybe it's just versus left-handed pitchers. So here we are at Oriole Park here in Baltimore, and Dustin May is on the mound here for the Orioles. I want to play some of these tough opponents early on because I know these tough games are going to be a testament to see who can stay up at the MLB level. I have a good AAA system right now, so I think that kind of promotion and demotion, it's going to be pretty fluid this year more than other years because we have the options if we want to make those changes. But Pat Washington taking full advantage of that leadoff spot. So it brings up Brandon Lau to the plate, and Lau hits one deep to center field. That is gone. We saw back in the Season 5 opener last episode, that Lau can hit the ball deep, and he's got his third home run of the season already. And how about Brandon Lau, the signing from the Tampa Bay Rays? I was nervous about him replacing Ian Happ, but so far he leaves no doubt. That brings up Paulo Reyes, who hits a base knock to right field with one out. Reyes is going to be a guy that I think is going to be in contention for another All-Star bid this year. As that brings up Salvador Perez, chopper to short, over to second, over to first, safe. Perez has like 19 speed, so I'm surprised he even beat that out. That brings up Joey Meneses, who gets moved up in the lineup here to the 6th spot. Now, remember in the opener, he was hitting at that 8th spot, but I kind of like him better at the 6th spot, especially seeing that Dylan Carlson has struggled so far this year as well. So we get 2 in the first, as that brings in Sean Manaea on the mound. We'll see what he can do here for the Arrows, facing Jackson Holliday, who leads off this game. And the top prospect in real life here for the Baltimore Orioles and number 1 overall pick, grounds out to short. Adley Rutschman to the plate, sinker outside, swinging strike 3. And Manaea is out of the first with no damage done. Bottom 2, Cedric Mullins at the plate. This is a high fly ball on the right field line. And look at where this ball lands up. I mean, how does that happen? Over the netting, right into that perfect corner in right field. That's like never happened in the show to me. So on to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Manaea still rolling in this one. Ground ball to short. Easy double play for Lau and the kid, Ray Gonzalez. And they get the double play right there, bringing up Jordan Westberg to the plate at the 9 hole, and he swings at one. This is driven deep to center field. Dylan Carlson giving chase. It's in the bullpen for a home run. So no shutout today here for Manaea. He gives up a solo shot here to the 9-hole hitter, who's got his 4th home run of the year. So he's no stranger to go deep. That brings up Jackson Holliday. Fly ball to center field. This one will get down. We were playing Jackson Holliday pretty deep, but look at Holliday trying to get a double right there. He gets thrown out easily by like 6 steps. So now here's Cedric Mullins at the plate here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 outs. Chopper to back to the pitcher, and it's going to be an out at first base. So here is Brandon Lau at the plate now in a 3-1 game in his second AB. This one's driven deep to right field. This one is gone. Another shot here for Brandon Lau, his 4th of the season. And how about Brandon Lau? I mean, I did not expect this when I signed him. I knew he could hit home runs, but he's just cranking the ball right now. And that's his 2nd of the game, his 4th of the year, and it's now 4-1. Here's Manaea back on the mound here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Deep fly ball. Verdugo under this one. He will get to that one. And Manaea is pitching a pretty good game so far. Jordan Westberg, who went deep earlier, the 94th pitch. Oh, and he drives another one deep. Deep to left field. Pat Washington giving chase. And it just hangs up in the air. I thought that one was gone again for his 2nd jack of the game. Jackson Holliday, the 101st pitch of the game, and he walks. Well, you got to start thinking, it's in the 6th inning. Do we go to the bullpen right now? But we let him play it out. Luis Gonzalez to the plate now. here with 2 outs. He hits one hard to right field. That one will get all the way to the right field wall for a double. And the Orioles get their second run of the ball game. And it is now 4-2. So now we go to the bullpen and bring in the new acquisition in the offseason, Kyle Nelson. We traded for him in that D-backs trade where we sent two prospects for Kyle Nelson and Oscar Colas. And Kyle Nelson does get us out of this inning. Ground ball to the kid, Ray Gonzalez. And we're up by 2 now, heading into the final 3 frames. Pat Washington 1 for 3 today. And this is what I like to see from a leadoff hitter. Just get on base. Doesn't matter how you do it. That brings up Brandon Lau. He's 2 for 3, 2 home runs. He went deep to center field in the 1st. He went deep to right field in the 5th. And here he is here in the 7th. We'll see what he can do at the plate, but he is the hottest bat on the team so far. So now he faces a 3-2 pitch now with 2 outs. Tyler Wells on the mound. Inside pitch is driven deep. Another one for Brandon Lau. I did not see this coming. Brandon Lau has some great power from the left side of the plate. We have a lot of left-handed pitchers in the lineup, and Lau is proving us that we can probably keep it that way, especially versus right-handed pitching. It's 6-2 off of 3 Brandon Lau home runs. But Salvador Perez wants to join in. Deep to left field in the 8th inning. It's gone. Perez is less surprising, to be honest with you. He's got his 4th home run of the year, but Salvador Perez has always been a guy that hits a ton of home runs in a season, and it's no surprise here. He's off to a good start in this season, hitting his 4th home run. I'm not sure who's going to lead us in home runs now. Is it going to be Brandon Lau? Is it going to be Perez? It's going to be one of those two, though. Chris Bryant to the plate now in the bottom of the 9th inning. He's got runners on 1st and 2nd here, and Reynaldo Lopez tries to close out this game, and it's going to be a 2-run double here for Chris Bryant, bringing it to a 7-4 game here in the 9th inning. This is, remember, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. Christian Walker at the plate now. 1-2 pitch. He swings at one low. This one's going to be just fair down the left field line, and another double here for the Orioles, and it's now 7-5. All right, now it's getting a little scary here because the tying run comes to the plate here in Austin Hayes. 1 for 3 in today's game, and the 3-2 pitch will be an inside fastball. He swings and misses at that one, but wow, what a game here for the Arrows and Orioles. They came back late, obviously did not have enough time, but it's 7-5, a good victory here on the road. Brandon Lau, huge game, 3 for 4. And how about Shamanaya? I just love that signing because he's going to be a guy that I can at least have at the MLB level, at least to hold over until, Terrell Blake is ready for the show. He's at 75 overall right now, Terrell Blake is, and I think that he's going to be ready at some point. I just don't know when. So we start to move through, the first month of the season, and you can just see right here, we're winning close games, losing close games. We're just around 500. We're 11-10 here. We played a 3-game set with Boston. We end up winning 2 of 3 versus them on the road. You can see the lineup here. We're hitting okay. Like, the average isn't great. We actually end up sweeping the Boston Red Sox also. And now we go up against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, we've had a couple of run-ins with the Pirates. We've had a couple of trades. Our first trade in this series was Nicky Lopez going over to the Pirates. So now we face them, and Tayfon Edwards, 5th start of the season, he's looking to go 5-0. He's got 4 quality starts. Look at the former AL, or I should say the reigning AL Rookie of the Year. The start that he's off to is amazing. He's got a 2.93 FIP. He's got below a 1 WHIP. He's got just around a 2 ERA. I mean, he is off to an excellent start. So let's get into some highlights of this game. Paulo Reyes is just hitting the ball hard every time at the plate this year. He's off to a decent start. Obviously, the average isn't there. He's just below 250, but he's going to get there for sure. Joey Meneses is off to a good start, though. He's hitting over 300 to start the season, and he drives in the first run of this game, and it is now 1-0. So Tayfon Edwards on the mound, looking for his fifth victory of the game. And how about the throw from Perez behind the dish? He will get the base runner trying to swipe second. Bottom three now. Victor Robles continues this at bat. Fly ball to center field. And Tayfon Edwards, 2 outs in this third inning. Peyton Henry to the plate. Fly ball to right field. Tayfon off to a good start on the road at PNC Park. So now we continue on to the bottom of the fifth inning. It's now a 3-0 game here for the Arrows, and the Pittsburgh Pirates cannot give solid wood on any of Tayfon's pitches. He's cruising in this one so far for the first out of the inning here in the fifth. And that brings up Brett Phillips, who obviously is not a great offensive player. He's there for defensive purposes. He swings and misses. High and in tight fastball. It's a swinging strike 3. Bottom 7 now. Tayfon Edwards is over 100 pitches in this one, and he's still rolling. Rodolfo Castro swinging strike 3. And now that brings up Brett Phillips again. 0 for 1 with 2 walks, but another swing and miss. And how about Tayfon trying to go the distance in this one? We'll see if he can make it. He's given up 5 hits so far through 7, but his arm's probably getting tired. He's over 100 pitches. As that brings up Paulo Reyes here with 1 out in the 9th inning, looking to hit the ball hard again, and he gets some extra run of insurance there with the base hit to right field, and that gets through the infield. It's now a 5-1 ball game. I know Paulo Reyes is a favorite here in this series. He's one of my favorites too, to be honest with you. And that brings in Jacob McDonald here in the 9th inning. He gets the ground ball to first base, and Edwards is 5-0 to start this season. A very good start for the reigning AL Rookie of the Year. 29 years old, by the way. And he is off to a good start. Well, we get to the end of the month of April here. We drop 2 of 3 versus the Pirates on the road. We end up splitting with Boston there at home. So we are still hovering around 500. I don't think anything's wrong here, but I think we're just, in these tight games and obviously losing them. But I think things will start to swing our way. We're too talented of a team to hover around 500, in my opinion. But we do face the Philadelphia Phillies at the end of the month here. We end up winning that game. We end up simming the next game. And we end up winning that game 11-1. So we win 8-0 and 11-1. I mean, we are off to an excellent start. And Sean Manaea is also 4-0. So now we sim the final game of the month. And look at this. We sweep the Philadelphia Phillies. A 5-1 victory. Jose Urquidy gets the win. He's 2-2 on the year. But a really good, at least, ending to the month as we face the Chicago Cubs, and we are 17-14. The AL Central is going to be really, really competitive this year, especially with the Guardians. We obviously beat them out by 1 game last year for the division, and they ended up not even getting a wild card spot. But we do have some interesting players doing extremely well so far this season to start the month. Ray Gonzalez, 336. Over 1,000 OPS. I saw this coming, to be honest with you, because I knew for some reason Ray Gonzalez is going to break out one of these years. I thought it was going to be last year. I thought it was just going to be after his first full season. But now it looks like he is primed to possibly take that role of the superstar of the team. He's off to an excellent start. I mentioned Joey Meneses is off to a good start as well at the plate. He's hitting over 300 at almost 1,000 OPS, 1 point below. But Dylan Carlson's struggles continue. Now, we signed him to a 2-year, about $20 million contract. He's only hitting 204. I think one thing that I'm going to do is possibly get him out of the lineup right now versus right-handed pitching, just to limit his at-bats. Maybe that will get him going and then eventually switch him back. But I need to see some more out of him. But Sean Manaea on the mound is 4-0. Tayfon Edwards does get 1 loss. He was 5-1, but below a 1 whip. Excellent start. Todd Workman, for some reason, is not pitching well at all. Babe Miller is pitching well, though. He's 1-3, but he's got a .92 whip on the season, so I'm glad to see him pitching well. Like, if we get him going, this rotation is going to be extremely, extremely good. So we are 17-14. We will see how the rest of the month of May goes, but I'm very, very happy with the start of the season through the first 30 or so games. But I think, one move we're going to make, Dylan Carlson's going to, like I said, lose that spot. And I'm thinking about moving up Fred Scott. We saw what he did there in that AAA game. I think he's ready for another shot at the show, especially after a month of experience at AAA. We'll see. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. I appreciate the support in this series. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tenant. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.